So as we were dealing earlier, we were setting out a past events list using a grid view, and you see I've called the grid view past events. I've also set up a grid view for the events calendar. And the only difference is that in my database I've used a query that is future events, and to get the future events I'm just using greater than or equals date, so that'll give me events either today or in the future. So what I'm going to do now is, on the events calendar, was just set up the same way using the connection string and data source as the past events. You can see I can also, I've been messing about and changing colours and formatting for the past events. So if we're going to look at my past events page now, you can see that even though I have a wee select button, it doesn't do actually anything. What I want to do now is have a select or a hyperlink that basically opens up the past events or the events details and past events details, and shows each event according to what event you've selected, so event 3 or event 5. And to do this too, I've also went into the database and I've just created a query of event details, which is a combination of the event, the leader ref linked to the member ref, which gives the first name and last name of the member for the leader. So see each leader's first name and last name is detailed in the query event details. So I'm going to go back now and I'm actually going to create in the events calendar, or the past events details, I'm actually going to create another tool, which is the details view. So if I go in, and this time I'm going to just have the details view for each event. So if I take that across, I'll select data source, which is going to be MySQL data source 1, which I set up earlier. I'm going to connection string events, and this time I'm going to say use the query for event details. I'm going to click next, and it's going to show me the 5. Again, I've put it in the header, so I'm going to move this header out of here in the code. I'm going to put the header back up there. Go back to the design now. See, it's a bit more manageable looking. And again, you can rename, resize. If you want to go in and change the header text, you want to change the event date, details, anything you change in the header text. You could even have leader, first name, leader, last name. Back to the design, and you'll see that that's changed all in that. And I'm going to just actually save this and just run that in Firefox. So you'll see this will bring up past event details, and it just gives me one. It's going to give the details of one event, and I don't want to show any more, because each event that you open from the past events, you want it to open up according to what that details is. So I'm going to go back in this time. Again, in the wee details, you've also got like an auto format, so you want to add like a different color, brown sugar, autumn, Oceana. I'll go with Oceana this time, so it's an auto format style, and I'm going to save that. Now the next thing I want to go is back to my past events, and I'm going to add a column. I'm going to take out that selection, enable selection. I'm actually going to add a column to this, so I'm going to edit columns, and I'm going to add a hyperlink field, and this hyperlink field is going to be at the end here. I'm going to have view as my header text. The select which is built in, you can also do this with it, but you can set buttons in that. I prefer just having my own header text and that. So what I'm going to do is the URL that I want to actually, so the page I want to open first of all, so I'm going to go to the behavior. So I've changed the text. So you see I've changed the text, it'll say view and the URL I'm going to open. So I'm going to go to the page. So past events details is the page that I want to open, and then down here I want to actually put that past events details again. Past event details dot ASPX this time, because that's the actual file, and this time I'm going to actually put a query string value equals to curly brackets not, and close the curly brackets, and the field that that's going to relate to is event number. So event number is the actual field, and then the event number that I'm going to have in the URL is going to store the event number that I've selected. So this actual field here, even though the header text is event ref, the actual data field is event number. So this links to that event number, which is that first one, and it stores the value in a query string called event number in the URL while connecting to the past event details page. So if I save that and now run past events, refresh in the browser, you'll now see that I've got a wee, and that'll open up past events, and you'll see up here it's actually giving me the number, so it's 3. Click on the second one, that should be 5. So I now know that event number up in the URL is storing the value 5. The problem is there's still only opening it up at the first past event. So what I want to do is go back now into the past event details, and I want to link this number that comes along the top, in this case 3, I want to link that into the past event details details form in the past event details. So we'll go in here, and this time I'm going to configure the data source. I'm going to go next because I'm still using the same data, and it's this stage in the query that I'm going to run a wee query string, and I'm going to say the event number equals, and the source this time is going to be the query string. So the query string is the value that's stored up in the URL. So if it's 5, it'll open up 5. If it's 3, it'll open up 3. I need to now go and say what the query string field is. So I call the query string event number in the URL, and I need to add this in to my where clause. Click next. Test query, now it's not going to show anything, so it's just in the parameters event number. If I click finish, would you like to regenerate the detailed row fields and data keys? The select data source schema warning, this will delete all existing row fields, so I'm not going to refresh that. I'm going to go to edit my fields again. I'm going to go put my date to long date format. And I'm going to save my past event details, and you see I haven't done a paging because I don't want to show any more than one event details at a time, because whenever I run past events. So if I go up now and refresh my past events, this time I'm going to go, hopefully it'll show event 3, so it's reading off the 3, and again it should read off the 5. So I can do this again for the future events. I can go through the same process and bring up the future events details.